And now, it's time for The Dating Doctor.
Prescribed by Dr. Carlos
And Physicians Assistant Steve Estrada.
Right, all right, we are back for another fantastic edition of The Dating Doctor. That song was talking about the flame. Sounds to me like the flame got put out.
Ooh.
Anyway, we're back here to maybe get that flame going for you guys listening, our bingers. Welcome, welcome back. New listeners, welcome. We hope you enjoy and repeat your listening adventure with us. So today we are once again without our illustrious Dr. Carlos.
Aww.
He is traveling some more.
Oh, no.
I think we're all jealous of him at this
Really?
point.
He's got some
He's
major
having
miles.
a heck of a fun life out there. So you have me, your physician's assistant, Steve Estrada, running the show today. Hello, 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 hello. And we have our lovely Ms. Dalalisi Kerr.
That would be me. Thank you.
Back again. And we have our The Voice, Austin Chamberlain.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So we are excited to share today's show with you. I want to let you guys know that we are in season 3. And this is episode 6.
Wow.
Season 3,
Moving
episode
along.
6.
We are right up there.
We are making things happen out here. I want to remind you guys again that we have these fantastic, incredible T-shirts.
Yay. I love this.
And I think we sold a couple this week.
I'm wearing one right now.
Is that what that
That's
is?
what
Oh
this
my.
is.
It's inside out, so I can't see the
Oh.
logo. You got to turn that around. But want to encourage you guys to be looking out to get one of those T-shirts because all the cool kids have them, I hear.
All the
And
cool
if you don't have one yet, you want to ask your mom, maybe get you some extra allowance money, and let's start saving up for that Dating Doctor T-shirt.
Make it a priority.
Okay, I want to remind you that you're listening to the Dating Doctor on KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM in the Inland Empire. And today the show is brought to you by Elevate Health Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy. This is the latest innovation in the pursuit of optimal health. And you can check us out at elevatehealth.com. That's ELEVE health.com. That's 3 E's in there. All right. So we have some fun subjects that we'd like to share with you today. Our Miss Dalalisi Kerr is going to start off with something that I think kind of parallels what we did last week when we're talking about things that men shouldn't say to women.
Yeah. Last week we had a lot of fun talking about 17 things that men shouldn't say to women, thanks to Diana Burke. Well, today, thanks to sociologist Jenny Nguyen, we have 10 things women should never say to a man.
All right. We're all about fair play here.
That's true.
Okay.
So turnabout is fair play.
All right.
So here is number 1.
Number
You
1.
ready? Number 1 is a woman would say to a man, "Your friend is so charming."
Your friend is so charming. So I'm assuming then we're out on a date and he brought his friend?
Well, let's assume that
Group
they're
setting.
in a group of
setting.
of friends.
Your
Exactly.
friend is so charming. Well, I don't know. Wow. I think that initially I might have a charming friend.
Oh, that would be.
And so that's sounds like a positive,
yeah.
right?
Sounds like a good thing. You're in good company.
You know, in good company. I think the crowd that we hang with represents us. So they say if you hang out with, 12 thieves and you join them, you might
You're
become the
probably
13th thief.
A thief.
So I think if I'm hanging out with a charming guy, maybe I'm a charming guy too.
Hopefully that's rubbing off on you.
I don't know, Austin.
think
What do you
so?
think about this?
So you don't think so? Physicians.
Well, I'm being
Assistant
kind. I'm being
Steve,
kind.
You don't think that if a woman said that to you about a friend, you would not be?
I think
intimidated
that
by
I've given you the confident, positive, principle-centered man's view,
There you go.
which is what we strive to be here on this show. But we're going to, I think, bounce off a couple other ideas with it. Austin.
I think there are some men that could, obviously become insecure about that. I think they can become a little paranoid and start watching that girl and how she interacts with that guy who
With
is
Mr.
so
Charming.
Exactly. Maybe he wants to
Prince
pick up
Charming.
on a couple of those pointers there. Maybe there's something he can learn.
Yeah.
But I think that might cause a little rift there.
A little rift?
Yeah,
Now, this is
little
a
bit.
list of things women should never say.
Women should never say to a man. And
What
from
do you
my
think?
perspective is this. I would never compliment a man's friends with a compliment I haven't already given him.
Mhm.
So
I like
Okay.
that.
I think that if I were to say that, I would have had to make sure that he was unfazed by any kind of compliment that I would give a friend.
Mhm.
It has to be something that I've already told him. So I think there's a value in women recognizing the deep value that a man has and then not complimenting his buddies. Just keep it to
Okay.
your man.
Okay.
I like
Yeah, that's a couple of perspectives that we have. I think that for us, because we talk about being principle-centered, we talk about our approach to life in general, all relationships. So I'm thinking if I'm in a group setting and I'm with a woman and she compliments one of my friends that they are charming, I'm going to take that as a compliment for my association with my buddy. And I'm assuming I'm hanging out with my buddies if we're in a group setting, because it's my friend that she's commenting about. And I'm going to be confident and secure because she did come with me. And if it turns out that she wants to leave me for my friend, the buddies that I hang out with are pretty solid guys, and that would probably not be a move that would play. But I would get to know more about her based on what she did following that. But I would take it as just a compliment to my buddy, and hopefully I hang out with good guys. And hey, charming people are better than what's the opposite of charming?
Piggish, prudish,
Well,
Not charming.
not charming.
Well, we don't want piggish or prudish. So I think that that statement there is probably for guys who are a little sensitive.
Yeah.
Guys maybe who aren't secure.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people that can handle that comment, but I know a lot of people that couldn't.
Really?
And a younger me would have a problem with that.
Really?
Oh,
A
sure.
younger you,
Oh,
a
yeah.
less principle-centered you would
Less
have had a
principle-centered, less mature. Oh, yeah. So there we go.
Well,
So
Way to kick
ladies,
it off.
I hope that advice helps. And what do we got next, Ms. Lisa Kerr?
the next one is, you ready? Here we
Yeah,
go.
I'm ready.
Ready.
My ex did it. Why can't you?
My ex did it. Why can't you?
Have you heard that before?
Oh, I doubt it. Oh man, this is the same department.
Is
Wow.
it?
I won't go first on this, Austin. I'm gonna let you go first. But I think that there's some thoughts on this, and I think you're barking down a similar tree, up a similar
Up
tree
a
here.
similar
Yeah,
tree.
yeah. But this is for ladies that they shouldn't say. So let's talk it through.
My ex didn't. Why can't you?
My ex did it. Why can't you?
I mean, initially my head just goes to, well, go back to your ex.
Absolutely. That's
I mean,
exactly what I was
if
thinking.
I'm not enough,
Well, there's a young man's
that
take.
is a young man's take. I mean, I'm not going to be
Is
trying
that
to.
what you're going with?
I'm not going to compare myself to the ex. I mean, clearly she moved on from him for a reason, right?
But clearly she
Yes.
is comparing you to her ex.
Yep, she sure is.
Absolutely.
Say it again, Della. What is it? My ex? What?
My ex did whatever. Why can't you?
Okay. Yeah.
He took out the trash. He did the laundry. He diapered the baby. Why can't you?
I think my first thought is that we need to help this woman,
Absolutely.
because we probably have discussed a couple of times on the show that comparing our current partner to former partners is I think it's kind of insensitive.
Hmm.
I don't think it's productive.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, it's like you are with the person that you're with now, not the person that you were with.
Mhm.
So when somebody says that, it might be that she's not really thinking clearly. And might be, hey, the faucet is leaking. Well, some guys don't know how to fix a leaky faucet. Some guys don't know how to fix a leaky faucet. And some guys do. So if she's saying to him, if it's about a leaky faucet, well, my ex, could fix a leaky faucet. Why can't you? I think the answer would be, well, I've never fixed one before. I don't have any tools. Let's give him a call. Maybe he'd offer help. Because you got to throw it back at her with like, come on, babe. I mean, where are we with this? What's really the issue here? I can hire a plumber and pay for a plumber, or if I can fix it, I can fix it. But it's going to be unique to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you from a woman's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This is a vicious thing to say, and she's got a deeper problem. She's got an issue that needs to be resolved much more so than whatever the task at hand was.
Yeah, and she might not be thinking clearly. She might just blurted it out thinking, gosh, maybe my dad fixed things, my grandpa fixed things, my uncle fixed things, and now I'm with you and you can't fix anything. Maybe she expects men to fix things. Well, not all men can fix things. So maybe it's just a learning experience for her. Maybe she isn't meaning to be cruel and insensitive. I don't know,
That might be the case, but I think a lot of people try not to talk about their ex with the person that they're with.
Yeah.
Just out of respect for that person.
Yeah.
So I think some of the people that would bring up that ex, I think you're almost kind of jabbing at them. You're almost trying to get a reaction or something, and not in a positive light. So I wouldn't appreciate that.
Most likely, it's probably not going to be intended well, and it's probably not going to be just a slip based on life's experience. And so we might want to coach this lady up. Say, hey, let's think about what you said there, and what you really mean. And but it's a learning opportunity for sure.
Well,
for both of them.
Why would she have even brought it up? Is a very good point, Steve. Why would she even be thinking that way unless she across the board feels that men can fix or do anything cookie cutter? And I know from my experience that not every man is the same. They're not. Some men are fixers and some men are not.
I think it's a lesson to learn and grow from. And the ladies out there that are listening, maybe they've said things like this, and maybe us giving that perspective might be helpful. I mean, that's what our show's about.
Well, and
so guys, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're getting ready to go into our first break. So guys, thank you very much for listening to our first segment. We will be with you on the other side of this break. We're back, and you are listening to The Dating Doctor on KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM in the Inland Empire. And today the show is also brought to you by meetingsinglesnow.com, where we bring you the best events to meet quality singles. Principle-centered people, I'd like to think.
Principle-centered people.
All right, so we are going to continue with Miss Della Lisi Kerr's theme here of the things a woman should never say to a man. And so far, we're dealing with a bunch of insecure men, as far as we can tell.
Well,
but maybe this is going to get better.
Or truly insensitive women, perhaps. This list comes from Jenny Nguyen, a sociologist, who is suggesting these are the things you shouldn't say to a man, regardless of where you are in your relationship. And mostly what struck me about these is that they aren't principle-centered at all. These are vicious things a woman says. Now, this one is a little backhanded. This one starts out really nicely and then goes in for the punch, and it goes like this.
Wow.
Statement number 6 is, I really love you, but I've dated richer guys.
That's strike 3.
I really love you, but I've dated richer guys. There's 2 pieces there.
I'm thinking that her perspective is this, that she's trying to say that money doesn't mean everything. And that his financial situation shouldn't matter when it comes to love. Well, In terms of principle-centered, yes, it should matter. So, gentlemen, have at it. I love you, but I've dated richer men.
I'm kind of stumped on this one for a second here. I love you, so that's good.
That's good.
She loves the guy.
That's a good start.
But she wants him, this guy she loves, to know she's dated richer guys. Maybe she's trying to explain some expectations that she's shared with him about she's maybe used to more, and he's not necessarily the high roller that she's used to. And so I think that she's maybe saying that's part of the conversation. Let's talk about this, or maybe he needs to get a better job or a second job. Well, let's assume he has a job because obviously money is important to her, right? I don't know. I'm perplexed here. Austin, come on.
It almost seems like a prerequisite. It sounds like she's just going down a checklist and is, I love you, but you don't have the money that I want.
Ouch.
It's a little bit of a dagger.
Ooh, owie.
It's a little bit of a dagger.
I'm thinking of question number 11 on our Dirty Dozen. Question number 11 refers to what we have envisioned for the future in terms of finances. And so I could see a principle-centered woman, or a woman who thinks she's principle-centered, wanting to explain to the gentleman in her life that she does have expectations, just like you said, Steve, for finances to come in a more timely and larger fashion. And yet she wants him to know that money isn't everything.
I think to your point, I think she can bring it up in a way of how she wants her life to be without bringing up her past experiences.
Exactly. How cruel.
Yeah, that's bringing up the ex. But again, if the guy is secure and confident, and she is maybe talking about, let's have a conversation about what our future looks like together. And it may be that, he is comfortable where he's at. Maybe he doesn't aspire for more. Maybe he's not trying to build, that fortune. He's just a guy that wants to collect a paycheck, which there are plenty of people doing that, and that's fine. It's just that the partner that you're with has to be fine with it too.
Right.
And I think that this question probably opens up a good discussion. I know, like for myself right now, I have an opportunity to build something here, and I work a lot right now, and I think that someone that would get to know me and know that about my life would recognize, this guy seems to be going somewhere. He's not settling for something. So if this was in a conversation with someone that I was with, and they said they loved me, and she brought that up that way, I would say, I don't want to hear about your exes so much. So let's tone that down because, I'm not interested in that, and I'm not going to bring up my exes, and I have more exes than you, nanny, Billy Goat. But I'm going to say that let's talk about finances. Let's talk about building something together. What are you doing to contribute? Let me tell you what I'm doing. Let me tell you about my dreams, my plans, my goals. I've got a story to tell today. And if somebody is looking, to hear that story, I've got a story. But if this gal is looking for a guy that, is building something, and this fellow she's supposedly loves is not building something, they need to maybe have a conversation about, are we going forward with this relationship? And it's a fair issue. It's a fair subject.
It's absolutely a fair subject.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings up another one that I wasn't going to mention, but because you mentioned it, we have to talk about finances in the 21st century and dating. When
Absolutely.
is it? My personal philosophy is that generally the gentleman is interested in buying dinner for me. But that doesn't mean I can't take care of the Uber or pay the valet or something like that, so that he knows that it's reciprocal and that that I'm capable.
You're sharing the experience.
Exactly. So one of the other statements along that line is when a woman sees the check come to the table and she says, "Aren't you going to get that?"
Well, let's, before we move on to our next one, if that's the next one, is that one of the ones you want to go over?
That's one of them.
Okay. So I think
so again, we're talking finance.
I think we're talking about something that needs to be talked about.
Yep.
Finances need to be talked about. You know, if you got somebody that's getting ready to build a fortune and wants somebody to work with them on that, you know, they're going to have to maybe tolerate a lot of work hours. They're going to have to maybe tolerate travel. They're going to have to maybe tolerate a lot of things that would be much, much different than a guy who works, 8 to 5, weekends off, 2 to 3 weeks of vacation a year, home every night, home every weekend. Two different situations. So what is a lady okay with? And have the conversation. And if you find you're on the same page, great. But if you find you're not on the same page, then maybe it's time to move on. And that's fair, right?
Absolutely.
You guys see that?
Absolutely.
All right. So that's a good one. These are good ones. Good job. What's this lady's name? Jamie Nguyen?
Jenny
Nguyen.
Got to bring her on sometime.
Sociologist. We really should.
All right.
Bring some of these folks to the table here. Here's another one that's actually kind of, ouch. No, don't. I'll do it myself. Something you should never say to a man. No, don't. I'll do it myself.
Okay, now wait a minute now. You mentioned the other one before about the check. Do you not want to talk about that?
Well, I thought we completed that by talking about finances. That finances do have to be talked about. So now we're on to no, don't.
Well, I'd like to talk about that one, though.
You want to talk about the check? Oh, okay. Well,
absolutely, because let's talk about this.
Okay, let's.
Okay, so what was it again?
The statement is, when the check comes to the table, she says, "Aren't you going to get that?"
Okay, now let's share a real life scenario.
Oh no!
Now you guys know that you've been to dinner with a woman, and it's a date, right?
How about if I'm the woman? Can I be the woman?
No, this is going to be anonymous.
Okay.
We're big on anonymous things here.
Okay.
So you're at the restaurant, right? And the procedure is your waitress or waiter is bringing the food, bringing the drinks, asking for dessert. You're getting winding down, where it's determined that we're not going to eat or drink anymore. We're probably, at the end here. So the check comes out. What they usually do is put it in those little books, little booklet things, and they stand it up on the table. They rarely put it in front of the woman. They generally put it in a lean towards the man. So our modern society, women are equal to men and men are equal to women. Excuse me, but the world still expects, leans toward the man paying for the dinner. Now, that's reality. Let's not pretend that's not reality. So the second part of that is, does that mean women can't pay for dinner? No, of course not. Women can pay for dinner just like a man can pay for a dinner. But in our society, in our culture, the expectation is that the man pays for the dinner. So when that check is sitting there in that tower, and I always look at it as a tower. It's a tower of, well, there goes $100 out of my wallet.
Oh my goodness!
All right, there's $100 going to go. Is it in the budget this week? Well, I invited her to go to this restaurant, so it better be in the budget, right? So I'm fully prepared, right? That does not mean that I have not had blunders in circumstances where the check is there and something goes wrong, where the lady becomes offended. Oh,
really?
Yeah, and I will say that that in the experiences that I've had, I'm always expecting and prepared to do that. Otherwise, I don't ask someone out to dinner.
Well, of course not.
I don't ask someone out to dinner. But I've had situations where there's been a misunderstanding because, oh gosh, I can't even remember the last specific time. It was a number of years ago. But the check came, and I could have swore she said to me, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. And so I said, terrific, terrific. Appreciate it, right? Well, she was not sincere. It was a test.
It was a test.
It was a test.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like,
vicious woman.
because
Playing games.
you know, it was early on in dating. I only dated her a couple of times.
Goodness.
And so what ended up happening was she paid the bill. She paid the bill, and she was struggled trying to scratch up money. And I'm like, I'm going, you know, can I help you with this? I mean, what's going on? You want to go Dutch? And I'm throwing out all the stuff because obviously it was not legit that you wanted to buy me dinner. It was something else that was going on. And so she figured it out, and it was very awkward. And so we're sitting there, and I don't remember. I think there was sports on the TVs. I think we're in a place where they had sports on. So we're talking about sports now, and I'm like, oh boy, this is weird. So we finally leave the place soon thereafter. And so we get out to the parking lot, and I'm saying, hey, that was kind of weird with the check thing there. I mean, I'm totally willing to pay that check, but you offered it. So great. I said, you live in Newport Beach, you drive a nice car. I'm expecting, you know, you're good. And then I saw you struggling, so I tried to help, and that didn't go well either. And she explained, she goes, well, I expected you to say something sooner. And I said, well, I tried to say something as quickly as I assessed the situation. I'm pretty quick on my feet. You know, I missed this.
Goodness.
And so that's his personal story, and that really happened. So I've gone off on a tangent here with my personal situation. But this statement...
Aren't you going to get that?
Yeah. Because what I would do is I would grab it. And I would just set it down next to me, and that means I've got it, right?
Yep.
And so I think what happened in this situation, or this potential situation, is it sat out there too long.
Oh, my goodness.
And so this lady's maybe a little pushy.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe she's a little like concerned because she doesn't have any money. Or maybe she has an expectation of how, you know, the date is supposed to behave. I don't know.
Well, now, to that point, many, many, many times I have gone on a date. Well, no, I don't date that much, but occasionally I have gone on a date, and the conversation turns a corner that I don't want to see happen, that I'm not interested in going down the road of. And so when the check comes, I quickly take it. Whether he sees it or not, I never say anything, but many times I have paid the check just so that I don't feel obligated.
Okay.
And so perhaps that's what she was thinking. And perhaps that's
she
what
didn't
made
grab
the
it.
awkwardness.
She didn't grab it quick enough, and then do a good job of actually paying for it.
Wow.
But anyway, I think that if a lady says that, probably. I don't know. She's
that's a turn off.
You want to, yeah. That's a turn off.
Well, so Austin, you're from a different. You see things from a different perspective than, say, Steve. When it comes to paying for things, when you go on a date, what do you think your expectations are?
At least the first time. I'm expecting myself to pay it, and I think they are as well. But I've been very fortunate with the people that I've dated that they're more than willing to offer, or we've, this time it's me, next time it's them. So I've had really good experiences, and I haven't really had an awkward experience where we're both just kind of staring at it and looking at the 3 digits, on the receipt.
How embarrassing.
And so I've been very fortunate. But It's bound to happen. It's bound to.
Well, let's do this. What would be our next one? And then we'll touch on it. And then we're going to go into our next break, and we'll see what we got on the other side.
Well, the next one was going to be, no, don't, I'll do it myself. But I've got an even better one. Here it is.
No, don't, I'll do it myself?
No, don't, I'll do it myself.
You don't want to do that one then? Well, we
what do you think?
We could review it. Well, what's the other one?
And then the other one
we're making a decision here.
You're like a brother to me.
Ooh. You're like a brother to me. Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one. I like, what was the first one?
No, don't. I'll do it myself.
Okay, I like both of those.
Okay.
And I think that you're like a brother to me. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's a negative thing.
No, it doesn't.
Let's do that one next, because I actually have, I speak about my ex-wife like this. Her and I, that's how we view each other. We're that close to each other in terms of the conversation that we have.
Yes, but in a dating context.
Well, that's why I want to speak to it, because I think that it can be something that is a positive. Okay? But guys, we're going to take our break, and we'll see you on the other side. Enjoy the music. All right, this guy can't tell her why.
All out of answers.
Can't tell her why. I can't tell you why.
Oh, Mr. Fry.
Well, he had to figure this out, you know? Maybe he needs to listen to the dating doctor.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So we are back for our final segment of the show. Very exciting final segment. And Della, you've got a very interesting thing that a woman should never say to a man. We're going to go with this next one.
Should never say this to a man.
What is it?
You're like a brother to me.
That's right. You're like a brother to me. Before we get into that, I do want to remind our trusted listeners that you're listening to The Dating Doctor on KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM in the Inland Empire. And today the show is brought to you by Elevate Health Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy, the latest innovation in the pursuit of optimal health. And you can check us out at elevatehealth.com. That's ELEVE health.com. 3 E's. We're big on the E's.
Big on E's.
All right.
E squared.
So,
Cubed.
how do we help this?
Shame on
How do
me.
we help this situation? What do we got here?
Well, she says, Jenny Nguyen, the sociologist, says, you should never say to a man, you're like a brother to me.
Okay. I do want to speak to this just to get this started, because I have benefited from having great relationship with women after the fact. My ex-wife and I we're super close. And people always say, why don't you get back together? Because her last husband passed away. They were together for like 20-something years. And we just say to each other, people just don't get it. You know, we've been there, done that. You know, we would do anything for each other. You know, my last serious relationship ended because of a problem with my ex, insecurity and that sort of thing. But we feel like we feel that close, like a sibling, you know. And I know how close I am to my brothers and sisters in that, and I actually have more interaction with my ex. So that's kind of how we feel about each other. So in our context, it's a very positive thing. And I have other friends, female friends that we had relationship years ago, and we can still look at each other and see each other in mixed company or alone, and we don't go there. We're just close. So it's, you know, I have my friend Marie. I think I've told you about Marie, Della. She describes me as a comfortable pair of Levi's.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's always described me as a comfortable pair of Levi's. And it's, you know, and she's got a guy. She's been married for a number of years, and I know he's a buddy of mine. So, you know, just that part of it, it can be a positive. But let's go in our dating world scenario where if a woman says, say it again.
You're like a brother to me.
Okay, Austin. Have you heard this one by any chance?
You're like a brother to me.
You know what? I don't want to go off topic, but I've actually told girls very, very just, it's not the same thing, but they have either the same name as my sister. So I'll just point out, oh, that's my sister's name. And just by saying that,
Yeah.
I can see the expression on their face that it's whatever we had going on completely over. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just from that. Just from bringing up my sister and relating her to my sister.
To the
just
same name?
Just from the name. You can see it all over their face.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I don't think that's common, but I've had at least 2 of those experiences.
That's
No.
odd,
It is odd.
and it's odd for them. They're odd. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I have 3 sisters. They all have 3 different names. If I met somebody that had their name, I would straight up say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's my
that's
sister's name."
Exactly.
And if a woman had a problem with that, I would think she was cuckoo.
Well, you know, gentlemen, in the dating realm,
But we went off subject.
We did.
yes, in the dating realm, I think that Jenny Nguyen is trying to point out that a woman would say something like this to to imply that they have a really close relationship to you and they value it like she would her brother.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, what she's saying is, I feel really close to you and I value our relationship like I would a brother. Not that there's something incestuous going on here. Nothing like that.
No.
And yet the guy hears
Friend zone.
Friend zone.
Friend zone.
Friend zone.
Exactly. And that may not be what she's trying to say.
Well,
so that's why I don't think it's a good thing to ever bring in your brother.
Wait a minute.
It can be very confusing.
Wait a minute. Because aside from my little happy story with my situation, if a woman says that to a man, my best guess is that she is not seeing the relationship going to, intimacy levels.
Yep.
And getting, very serious. And so I think a woman could use that as a tool almost to like put an end to things and it be a statement that is not like, you're gross, I can't stand you,
Mm-hmm.
you're poor, you're a bum, you can't dance, you dress bad.
You smell.
My friends say you smell.
Your hair is horrible.
I mean, because let's say she's maybe trying to walk the guy, down easy. Let him down easy. I like you. You seem like a good guy, but I just, you're like my brother. I feel like you're like a brother. I don't think, I think that's where this is probably not what a woman should say to a man, because he's going to read it like I'm describing it right now.
Exactly.
I would read it, she's not into me.
One of the principles, one of our most basic principles is honesty.
Yeah.
And rather than comparing her to the relationship she has with her brother, she needs to say, I feel really close to you. I really love our relationship, but it's not going to go any deeper.
There's a big butt in there.
There is.
I like big butts. A big butt.
Can you say that on the air?
I just did.
All righty. So
we don't want to hear that, right, Austin?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love him?
No.
Oh, no.
We're
We're
not
talking
going
about the brother. You're talking about
Absolutely. No,
the big butt. We knew there was a big butt coming in there
well-
because you're like a brother to me, but that means I don't want to see you anymore.
No. Well, no, quite to the opposite.
Well, see
I think
you
that
like
means I want to keep seeing you as a friend.
you could be a buddy.
It's a friend zone.
Yeah, guys love hearing that one. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're all about
Can't we
friend
just
zone.
be friends?
I just bought her dinner and she wants to be my buddy. Yeah, here, give me half the check then. Getting back to that question, right?
Yep.
I don't even buy my best buddy's dinner. What are you talking about?
Never. Never.
You're on your own, pal.
If we're
All right.
friends.
Well, what did we learn there? We learned, Austin, let's not look forward to hearing that.
We learned that we've got to find out what Austin's sister's name is and not introduce
What's your
him
sister's
to
name,
any
Austin?
women named
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Is that an Alyssa with an A or an E?
Hey.
A.
So all you Alyssas out there, please don't get frightened when he tells you his sister's name is Alyssa.
Don't run away.
Don't do
Just
that.
One of them literally walked away within seconds.
That was a bonus topic. The guy says your name is similar or the same as his sister's. Let it be. It's
Let it
okay.
be. It's all right.
It's okay.
But don't say that you like him like your brother.
Yeah. Don't do that one.
All righty. So shall we go on to another one?
Yes, ma'am.
I love this one.
Okay.
This one speaks to the two of you and physically fit and activities and muscle and all of that.
All right.
Oh, wow, you really can do a pull-up?
Pull-up meaning what?
Pull-up.
Is she trying to
Oh,
be funny?
wow, you can really do a pull-up?
Is that sarcasm?
No. Oh, wow, you can really do a pull-up?
Meaning she
Well, I don't
really
think-
didn't think he was capable of doing a single pull-up.
See, is that what you
Oh,
both
God.
got out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
gonna make me do like 20 pull-ups.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. He's obviously made an impression on her. And the impression is that he doesn't appear to be a fit, strong guy.
Exactly.
Now he could have a body that doesn't look fit and strong, but he could still be capable. I mean, we're all different, right? I don't think. Well, I hope a woman wouldn't say that to me. Can you do any pull-ups, Austin?
Absolutely can.
Okay, I can do about a dozen pull-ups myself. So I think that I probably wouldn't get that comment, but the impression that you're making is what she's responding to.
Exactly.
So maybe this guy, I think a guy would not want to hear this.
He would not.
He would not.
It would
Even
hurt
if he
his
could.
ego.
Even if he could do pull-ups. Yeah,
We've got two because we've got another one just like that. You don't actually know how to change a tire, do you? Same concept.
Okay, you're rushing through our great points, Miss Eloise Kerr.
I'm
We
bundling them.
do have
Do you have
some.
somewhere to go? Or
Stop bundling, you. Although we do bundle in our business, we're big on bundling, as Austin knows now. Okay, but aside from that, so I think what people say to us in the dating world, and especially we had some time under the belt where we've gone on a few dates, we're interested, we think they're interested, and then they say, wow,
wow, you really can
you
do
really
a pull-up.
can do meaning
pull-up,
one pull-up. I think that the impression that the guy was making wasn't the one he would want to be attached to. Because guys, I mean, we all have our egos. We're all sensitive. Mm-hmm. I know plenty of guys that can't do one pull-up. And so it's out there. And this lady was being honest. Hopefully she said it with not too much giggling attached to it. Because I know women that can do a bunch of pull-ups. So I don't know here.
See, I would appreciate it if it was sarcasm. She has a little personality.
Oh,
She's
wow.
teasing.
Yeah.
She's
You can
teasing me. I
actually
can
do a
tease
pull-up.
back. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would like that. But in the tone that you're kind of saying it, it's not that way.
Well,
wow, you really can do a pull-up.
Hey.
it says, oh, wow, you can really do a pull-up.
You know, I
Well,
think most guys don't want to hear this.
No.
But I think if the woman was just being fun and playful and just, sharing a real experience that she's had, because apparently the guy did a pull-up. She saw him do a pull-up. Or he told her that he did a pull-up. She was just, I think, surprised and impressed maybe.
He's just doing pull-ups in front of her.
Because I would say, how many pull-ups can you do?
Out of nowhere, he's doing pull-ups.
A beam in the ceiling.
Let's go to the park and do pull-ups. They got some pull-up bars over there. But maybe she's just being, surprised and was sharing that experience that she learned something new.
I wonder what else she's going to be surprised by.
Well, whether or not he can change a tire.
I think we can go to tell us bundling. We're bundling. All right, so...
but from a woman's perspective, I see a comment like that as vicious, emasculating.
Emasculating.
Totally emasculating.
Would you say that to a man?
Absolutely not. No matter. But I might.
Would you care? Would you care if he could do a pull-up or two?
Oh, absolutely. I enjoy a man's physique, and I expect him to take care of himself physically, and that means being fit and able to do a pull-up, one pull-up.
A single pull-up.
A single pull-up. Now, I can't do push-ups. I'm not able to do push-ups. And if this were television, you'd know why. But the fact of the matter is I can't do a push-up. So if I saw a man do a push-up for whatever reason, I would be impressed by that. And I might say, oh, wow, you can do a push-up. So it doesn't, like you said, Austin, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's being vicious. Mm-hmm. But, oh, wow, you can really do a pull-up.
I mean, I can honestly see myself saying that in a teasing way to someone.
Well,
honestly,
I know plenty of people that aren't physically fit. And so I think that maybe those folks gravitate to each other, just to eliminate the issue. But, we're all different. I mean, it doesn't mean that much to some people. It really doesn't. They're looking at principles. They're looking at those kind of things.
Well, I would imagine.
The things that we've talked about on the show. So I think it could go both ways.
Yeah, I don't think pull-ups are in those principles.
So what's
Let me look through.
what's
Yeah, let's.
they're definitely not in there. So what's that tire thing? What's the question about the tire?
So the tire is you don't actually know how to change a tire, do you?
Wow. I think that one is even more offensive than the
Oh,
pull-up
really?
thing.
You think that one's more offensive?
Yeah, because I mean, not everyone has changed a tire in their lives. I've changed plenty of tires. I drove junky cars when I was a kid and young.
Did you really?
Yeah, old cars. we changed a lot. We did a lot of things to our cars. Nowadays they're all computerized. You can't even begin to figure out what's wrong. And with a tire, you know, changing a tire, like on my Jeep, that tire is underneath the Jeep. I don't want to ever have to change that tire.
Oh my goodness!
It's in the worst place possible. So when a woman says that to a guy, I think that is a little bit, that would really set me off, because anybody should be able to change a tire. You know, when I learned how to drive you can change a tire,
Of course,
Della?
I'm from Minnesota. You have to know.
You
how
have
to,
tires in Minnesota?
We have tires in Minnesota.
Do
We have
people
the
do
wheel.
pull-ups in Minnesota too?
No,
Oh.
we
No.
don't do pull-ups, but we do have tires. I know how to change my own oil, and I think both of those statements were attempts at emasculation.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't care if you can change a tire or not. She is trying to be vicious.
You know what? Again, I am not. I can think that you say vicious. That's a pretty severe word.
Yeah.
I think that a woman is looking at the situation with genuine surprise and curiosity. You know, because how does she know this guy can change a tire? You know, if he looks like a greasy mechanic, she probably wouldn't say that. Is that what we're getting at here? Or if the guy is, you know, a clean cut guy and dressed in a suit all the time, does that mean he can't change a tire? I don't think we can assume anything by someone's appearance, and I think that's the mistake that these statements are revealing.
Well,
you know, but again, it could be totally innocent.
Well,
Totally innocent.
Because Miss Wynn said that these are the things a woman should never say to a man,
Yeah.
we can assume that they're not meant with surprise.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
frankly, I think it's appealing to see a man change a tire or do a pull-up or a push-up or anything like that.
And you are
And
that
the-
type of woman. And I think that is probably more common than not.
I think
But
so
we're
too.
getting to the end of our segment, guys. So, ladies, we've tried to give you some wisdom and some advice on some of these things that you should never say to a man. Hope you made notes, and our show is about ended. We will see you guys next week. Thank
Till
you.
next time.
Bye-bye.